Hi, in this demonstration I'm going to show you how you can import bank statements from QIF and QBO file formats directly into your QuickBooks Desktop file using Zed Axis. These statement formats of QIF and QBO have been around for decades, and a lot of people are familiar with these formats. What I'm going to show you is how Zed Axis can take those, we can code those and categorize those and clean them up and put them into the format that QuickBooks can use to directly import either credit card charges or credit card credits or checks or deposits, depending on the type of bank account you're importing them into. So first off, Axis provides a lot of flexibility around these formats. So if you've got a QIF file, then we can bring that in directly in. You can also bring in large batches of data, so you may have old historic statements that you want to bring in, which are not necessarily connected to your QuickBooks direct feed bank statement import feature. Axis has also some great coding features. So typically within a QIF or a QBO file format, they're going to have the date, a memo which describes the type of the charge, as well as the amount, whether it's being a negative or positive, depending on the type of transaction you're bringing in. So what Axis can do is recognize keywords within the memo and then automatically categorize and code those transactions so that we can code in the vendor, we can code in the expense account or the item, and we can even code in class tracking or whether it's billable to a customer job. So there's some really powerful features within the coding function within Axis to get these transactions nicely and efficiently and smartly into your QuickBooks company file. So let's get onto the desktop and I'll show you a demonstration of exactly how to do that.
So I've opened my QuickBooks company file and now I'm going to connect Zed Axis to that. So I've opened Axis, select QuickBooks Desktop and hit connect. So once we've got the connection, click the import tab. Now, so that's where I browse to the statement file that I want to import into QuickBooks Desktop. Now we support QBO, we also support QIF, OFX and QBX formats. So I've got a sample Visa card statement that I'm going to upload into my QuickBooks company file. So next I select the QuickBooks account, whether that's a credit card or a bank account that I'm going to import that statement into. In this case I'm going to import it into the account called My Credit Card and click preview. So what you see here is a preview of the QBO file and the contents of that. And the first three columns are the data that's contained, which has been downloaded from the bank. So we've got the date of the transaction, we've got a long bank reference number for that transaction, then another field which describes the payee or the description of that particular charge. So the challenge is always, how do we get that information into QuickBooks in a meaningful way? So if we're creating credit card charges, we're going to need to know the payee, the expense account, as well as maybe some other details around tax, whether it's billable to a customer, and perhaps class tracking as well. So Axis has a way of doing that, what we call a coding template. So what that does, it recognizes keywords within this column here, which is the description of the charge, including the company or where the credit card was used. So by recognizing keywords, we can then dictate these are the corresponding vendor, expense account, tax code, whether it's billable for a customer job, and class can be recorded against that. So what I'm going to do now is apply that template. So I've set up two of those keywords previously. And what you'll see is once that template has been applied, then the various results where we see a keyword will respond with those pre-selected options being filled in here. So you can see that right now. So we've got a keyword on the word chevron, and it's automatically selected the payee or the vendor as chevron fuel, and so on. So we go into that. I can show you more how you set up these templates to automatically code or categorize the transactions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this one. I want this actually to go to Starbucks. And we're going to put it against meals and entertainment and so on. We'll add that in a class there as well. So there's the keyword. This is the payee or the name what we can associate it with. This is the account, the tax code. Whether it's billable or not, we can apply it to a particular customer job as well. And we can set it to whether the type should contain the word or should match exactly what's in there. Let's add another one in here. So I'm going to look up on the word staples. What I want that, whenever we find one of those, we want it to go to the vendor account in QuickBooks, and we're going to put that against office equipment. So these lists here are the lists of expense accounts from QuickBooks. We can select the tax code. We're going to put it against the class. We're going to make it billable and assign it to a particular customer job. And click OK. And we'll see that applied to that statement and see it automatically categorize and code the transactions accordingly. So it goes through and passes through the statement again, matches them, and will code them as we need. You also have the option to manually select names here if you need to. We can put in whatever we like. This is from the QuickBooks vendor list, and we can categorize it to an expense account as well, and so on. So once we're ready, we can select the transactions that we're going to import and deselect the ones that we want to skip on this particular round, and click on the import button down here. Axis will go ahead and actually validate that data and begin the process of importing those credit card charges directly into your QuickBooks company file. So what it's noticed here is that one of the transactions has already been imported, so it's skipped that one, and so we're not going to duplicate any of those because we've imported this, we've done a partial import of this statement previously. So we get some positive results. So once we've finished that import, we can see now what's been imported. We can actually click on this button here or go to the individual transaction and show us the detail of what we just imported. So that's very simply how you can use Zed Axis to import QIF file format statements as well as QBO file format statements from your bank or credit card company directly into QuickBooks Desktop using Zed Axis, and then the use of coding templates that can be reused on subsequent imports.